Wall Street suffering from West Wing whiplash. Over the past couple of weeks, we've heard the president reverse course on everything from taxes to tariffs. Eamon Javers is live at the White House. He's been covering all of this back and forth and back and forth. Eamon.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of back and forth, Melissa. Take a listen to the president on a couple of topics, particularly, as you say, taxes and tariffs. Just over the past week or so, it's been a little bit head-snapping. Here's what he said.
Payroll tax is something that we think about, and a lot of people would like to see that.
I'm not looking at a tax cut now. We don't need it. We have a strong economy.
A lot of people have been talking about indexing for many years, and it's something that I am certainly thinking about.
I'm not looking at doing indexing, and I haven't been seriously looking at it, but certainly it is an option if I wanted to. The tariffs are working. And they're eating the tariffs, by the way. There's no price increase. We're doing this for Christmas season, just in case some of the tariffs would have an impact on U.S. customers.
The president also said that ultimately he's going to try to step in here and do something to help Apple, because he said Apple is paying the tariffs. So on the one hand, he said that American companies are not bearing the brunt of the tariffs. And then on the other hand, he said maybe he needs to take some action today, he told me, to benefit Tim Cook after Tim Cook made the argument to him. So this president's been a little bit all over the place. I am told that what happened today was the staff briefed the president in the Oval Office just before he came out to talk to reporters about his tax comments and how much pickup they'd gotten and how much speculation they'd set off over what the tax plan was going to be at the White House. The president then went out to talk to the reporters, me included, determined to shut that storyline down and determined to say that he's not doing anything on taxes. So maybe inadvertently speculating in front of the cameras yesterday set off a tsunami of speculation. The president wanted to shut it down and be clear he's not actually doing anything. Melissa.
All right, Eamon. Thank you. Eamon Javers joining us from the White House. Now, you all know that we're not a political show. We look at politics in the prism of investors and how investors should view the markets. Still, these are very mixed messages. These are statements that could have an impact on investor sentiment, on consumer sentiment, on the markets themselves. And they are very confusing, Steve.
I think that this is all part of how people invest through these environments, because if
you mean the NASCAR car crash, keep driving thing,
go right towards the accident. If the president says something on a Tuesday and then on a Wednesday he changes gears, how do you invest on a Tuesday differently than you invest on a Wednesday? So what you do is you stop thinking about it. Mm-hmm. So I think it actually helps investors to see through the cloud, because he says one thing one day, one thing the next.
Let me just take the flip side of that. I understand if you're
Which flip side?
The
His
flip side
mine,
of just drive right through it.
Absolutely yours.
Excellent point. Okay, so let's say though you're not an investor. You're someone who is importing manufactured goods from China, right? Okay. You can't just drive through it, right? Because you need to know how much you're going to pay, or you need to know, are we ever going to have a trade deal? Can I even move production somewhere else?
Do you have to? So do you have to import those things? You have to if you're that.
Let's say you have to. You can't make them in the United States.
How do you trade? How do you trade on a normal day basis? You're a hedge fund. So how do you trade? You make your bet. You don't buy 100% of your position. You buy 25%. If it's right, then you leg in another 50%. Same way CEOs do this.
I don't know that you have the ability to up and down your capacity utilization of some plant.
Yeah.
They have to.
How you trade.
They eventually have to import it, right? So after 3 months of saying, let's wait, he picks up the phone and says, guys, we have nothing to sell.
I think it depends on how long the lead time is. It's not like you can just flip it around.
And you start to see inventories like we saw with TJX. You start to see inventories grow because they got ahead of the tariffs.
So there is an impact because of the uncertainty.
I don't think it's a difficult debate to say that it's a tough environment for CEOs to do normal CapEx and OpEx planning. If you look back in the market, since August 1st, effectively, we've had 4 runs of either down 4% or up 4% or just under, so 3.5% to 4%, just in August alone. So that tells you that the market is obviously responding. What I would say to that is, look, the fundamentals haven't really changed at all in August. And I think that's what people need to keep their eye on the ball, other than possibly bond yields.
Pete?
Well, I would just say really quickly that you've got to look through the distance of this whole thing. And I think that's the point you're trying to make, is if you smooth this thing out and you just invest the way you've been, you're not going to get jerked all around, up and down. And that's the way you've got to do this.